For over 4 decades, Pat Sajak has been host of one of America's most popular game shows, Wheel of Fortune. Through his humor and lively personality, has been able to captivate the attention of millions of viewers across the country. It's safe to say that Pat has been an absolute legend on the show, and he will certainly be remembered as one of the greats in the game show genre. Unfortunately, Pat Sajak has recently decided to retire from the show, ending his long 4D career at the famous game show. Viewers who have embraced the longtime TV personality have expressed their sadness knowing that their favorite host will no longer be on their screens daily. This has created a lot of anticipation, and everyone is eagerly waiting to see what will happen next. What really happened to cause his exit after so long? Who will be the new host of the show? Join us as we unravel the mystery behind this shocking decision and what the future holds for the iconic show Wheel of Fortune. Pat Sajak was born on October 26, 1946 in Chicago, Illinois. Born in the west side of Chicago to Polish-American parents, he did not have a close relationship with his father Leonard Stock or his paternal grandparents. His parents separated in his early childhood, and his mother, Joyce Sajak, got remarried to Walter Ble. in 1956. Sajak's father died in 1961, and after that Sajak lost contact with his father's side of the family. He attended high school at Farragut High School, where he completed his studies in 1964. He then joined Columbia College in Chicago while working as a desk clerk at Palmer House Hilton Hotel. Sajak's interest in broadcast entertainment was developed at a tender age, watching Jack Paar on The Tonight Show in an interview with the Hoover Institution. In 2012, Sajak said, "I would sneak out of bed at night, not to go out with the guys or grab a beer, but it was to turn on The Tonight Show and see what Jack was up to." Jack, during his early adulthood, was like Jack Paar, his role model. He started his career as an announcer with a local radio station in 1966. He was a guest teen DJ on the Olds Radio's Dick Beyond show, having emerged the winner of a contest at Columbia College, Chicago. His broadcasting teacher, Al Parker, informed him that a local radio station needed a newsman. Sajak applied for the job and was hired to work from midnight to 6 o'clock a.m. He then joined the United States Army in 1967 and served his country for 2 years. When was deployed to Vietnam, he ended up becoming a disc jockey for the Army's radio station in Saigon. When Sajak was released by the Army in 1970, he struggled to find another job, and in his field he later moved to NBC affiliate Wisdom in Nashville, where he was a disc jockey on the radio station and an announcer on their television channel. He was a usual substitute for the regular newscasters, and so when the weekend weatherman left the station, Sajak was the perfect candidate for the position. Sajak's humorous disposition was noticed by Los Angeles' NBC affiliate KBC, which hired Sajak as one of its weathermen in 1977. Thus, with Sajak presenting the Ether Report for the West Coast's epicenter of television, he came to the attention of many influential people, including Jack Paar, who sent Sajak a letter of commendation. Sajak was also spotted by Mev Griffin, the producer of Jeopardy! Witchered from 1964 to 1975, and Wheel of Fortune, which has been airing since 1975 up to the present time. When the Wheel of Fortune was in search of a new host in 1981, Griffin convinced NBC to hire Sajak. There was some controversy at first because Sajak wasn't a very popular figure, but Sajak was offered the job. He hosted Wheel of Fortune for the first time on the 28th of December 1981. On that day, a new element of the game was introduced, known as the bonus round, in which the contestant who had won was given an opportunity to win more prizes by solving an additional puzzle. During his time as the host, Sajak was also behind the scenes, giving directions to the game's contestants and sharing his thoughts with the viewers on the show. He's usually accompanied by a co-host, which was initially Susan Stafford. She would stand beside the letter board and uncover each letter as it was bungled by the contestants. When Stafford resigned from the show in 1982 to study clinical psychology, White took her place. White became somewhat a part of the show that by 1988. The New York Times noted that Sajak was perhaps best known as Vanna White's co-host. Wheel of Fortune moved to nighttime syndication in September 1983, while also remaining on NBC during that time. This was an effort to expand its audience base. However, only a few local stations could take the show at first because it occupied half of an hour and the station had to find something to Putin the second half in an attempt to complement Wheel of Fortune in the second half of an hour. Griffin proposed a revival of Jeopardy with the Canadian host Alex Trebek as the new host of the show and offered the show for syndication in 1984. The tactic worked. The two shows became the first and second most watched programs in syndication by 1986 due to the show's success. Skagen fame across the country with Wheel of Fortune syndication and was offered other shows. He worked as one-off hosts of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade from 1984 to 1986. He was also offered the Pat Sajak Show in 1989, which was a late-night show on CBS, and it ran until 1990. Some of the guests during the show's brief tenure included Jack Paar, who had left hosting late night television in 1965 to host the late-night talk show on. Sajak had to leave NBC, and thus the Wheel of Fortune's daytime version. He was succeeded by Ralph Benke, who was then succeeded by Bob Gone when the show shifted to CBS in July 1989. However, Pat still remained as the host of the syndicated evening version of Wheel of Fortune in the 1990s. Sajak extended his business in the broadcasting industry, though he chose to put his money where his passion lies rather than where the money is. In 1998, he bought the broadcast license for one of an AM radio station based in Annapolis, Maryland. This became one of the key components of his business venture, Shack Broadcasting Corporation. In 2005, his company also got the license for an Otheram radio station located in Westminster, Maryland. Several years after that purchase, Shack decided to sell both licenses, which license was sold in 2013 for $3 to $5,000, while WNF's license was sold in 2021 for $11,000. Sajak, however, contributed $100,000 for WNF to move from the land that he wanted to sell. Shack also founded Pat Productions and Boyack Records, small production companies that develop and provide ideas and materials for television and music industry. As it is apparent that Sajak's life outside a Wheel of Fortune is largely in line with his conservative ideology. He usually expresses his honest opinions about the culture of the entertainment industry and is an open advocate for his political views. In 2018, Sek returned for the 36th season and became the longest reunion game show host ever, surpassing Barker, who hosted The Price is Right from 1972 to 2007. She was officially recognized by the Guinness World Records for this on the episode that was aired on May 8, 2019. Besides being the longest-serving game show host in the American Levison, he has been honored with many awards and recognitions, including People's Choice Award in 1987 and Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Game Show Host in 1993, 1997, and 1998, respectively. He was awarded the Daytime Emmy Lifetime Achievement Award in 2011. He also honored with a star at the Hollywood Walk of Fame in the year 1994. Pat Sajak has been married to Leslie Brown since 1989. His first wife was Cheryl Sajak, whom married in 1979. Unfortunately, the marriage was short-lived and the two divorced in 1986. Sajak got married to Leslie Brown, a photographer and a former model, in the year 1989. The couple was introduced to each other by their friends and have been anatem since then. They currently reside in Sna Park, Maryland, with a second home in Los Angeles. Leslie has been on the show Wheel of Fortune several times and has hosted one of the show's anniversary specials. On a personal level, Pat revealed that marrying Leslie made him a happy and contented man. Leslie is a very caring and supportive wife, and she has been a great support to Pat in his working life. Together they have grown and nurtured two children and have created a happy family. Pat and Leslie have two children together, a son named Patrick Michael James and a daughter named Maggie Sajak. Patrick Michael James Sajak was born in September of 1990 and is a doctor, having graduated from medical school in 2021. Maggie was born in 1995 and is a country music singer and has done guest appearance on the Wheel of Fortune. Cher placed Vanna White as a letter turner for a while when Vanna was hosting the show in the absence of Pat. Apart from being a television host, there are other things that Pat Sajak likes to do. He is a sports enthusiast and his favorite sport is baseball, with the Baltimore Orioles being his favorite team. Sajak also likes to write and has contributed columns for some conservative papers. In the past also, he holds a pilot's license and has an interest in flying planes as a hobby. During a guest appearance in the broadcast booth at a Baltimore Orioles vs. Boston Red Sox spring training match in March 2012, she revealed they had announced some baseball games in past. In terms of his work in media, Pat Sajak has been involved in a short educational video entitled The Great American Constitution, which is used in George Washington Estate's FAMED Mount Vernon. This film aimed at increasing awareness of visitors about the Constitution features Sajak, who plays the role of a reporter with his historical information and facts about the Constitution. This role enabled Sajak to bring his familiar broadcasting character and mix it with something Thetis more educational and historical. Sajak is a Republican, and before his new job had penned several articles for the conservative weekly Human Events. He is also a frequent contributor and podcaster at a right-wing website, Ricochet. In the year 2019, Pat Sajak had what could have been the pinnacle of a health crisis when he was operated on for an intestinal blockage. While he was recovering from this incident, Vanna White assumed the hosting jobs for Wheel of Fortune. Sajak has since gotten well and resumed hosting the show, though have frequently discussed the need to pay attention to his health and that of his family as he planned to retire soon. Sajak is a great fan of the Washington Capitals, a team that plays in the National Hockey League. He is a season ticket holder for the Philadelphia Flyers and skated to the ice prior to Game 3 of the 2018 Stanley Cup Finals. It is evident that Sajak has notably revolutionized Wheel of Fortune, but also the whole game show industry, due to his professionalism and uniqueness in making jokes and at the same time being able to entertain the contestants and audiences. He has become an icon in the entertainment industry. It is also noteworthy that Sajak was not only a host but also actively participated in various charitable activities, which demonstrate that he is using his popularity to help others and make the world a better place. Whether participating in charity events, campaigning for worthy causes, he has proven that the power of his personality goes beyond the television screen. Pat Sajak is a television personality, actor, and game show host, and has an estimated net worth of more than $75 million. Is well known for hosting the game show Wheel of Fortune, and he has been hosting the show for many years now. Since 1981, he is among the highest paid TV hosts with an annual salary of $15 million. Sajak and White only shoot Wheel of Fortune for days in a month. It may not look like much work for $15 million, but given that there are 4 shoot days in a month, you can only imagine that it can be very tiring. It is important to note that it takes 195 episodes to complete a season of the Wheel of Fortune. Additionally, Sajak and White star in the spin-off titled Celebrity Wheel of Fortune, which began airing in 2021. Sajak also earns a good amount of money from licensing his image for the Wheel of Fortune slot machine, which is a popular offering in casinos. This licensing deal generates approximately $15 million of royalties and licensing fees for Sajak yearly. Sajak recently stated that the 41st season of Wheel of Fortune will be his final one. That personality shocked his fans on June 12, 2023, when he declared that he was retired from hosting Wheel of Fortune after being with the show for 41 years. With a short message on Twitter, Sajak commented on his career, "Well, the time has come," he tweeted. "For various reasons, I have decided that our 41st season, which will start in September, will be my last. I have had a great time and will have much more to say in the coming months. Thank you all." People were quick to come out and pay homage to Sajak's time on the show, including his former co-host Vanna White. Following this announcement, people wondered if Vanna White, Sajak's co-host for several years, would replace him. As the show host, Vanna has been associated with Wheel of Fortune for more than 40 years, and viewers are still captivated by her elegant style and smile, despite the fact that she is more associated with reading those famous letters. She has sometimes hosted in Sajak's absence and has proved she can host the show as well. "I've been incredibly fortunate to work alongside Epit for all these years. He has been an amazing mentor and friend to me. As for taking over as the host, well, it's a thing that I would definitely consider if the opportunity arises, but Pat is irreplaceable and it will be a big challenge to fill his shoes," Vanna said when asked if she would be the one to take over from Sajak. There has also been increasing rumors in recent years that Maggie Sajak, the daughter to Pat Sajak, could be next in line to take over the hosting of Wheel of Fortune. Having watched a short clip of Pat and Maggie teasing each other during a segment of Wheel of Fortune trivia show, audiences started to get an impression that Maggie, who is 28 years old, is the one who might become the new host of Wheel of Fortune. In January 2020, Maggie made her debut in Wheel of Fortune as Vanna White's substitute for 1 week when she was replacing Pat Sajak, who had to be taken to surgery, and then in 2021, Maggie began her career at Wheel of Fortune as a social media correspondent. The show's fans have centered their attention on the recent comments made by Pat as regards to the ability of Maggie as a host during the holiday trip with Pat and Vanna special that was featured in December 2022. Maggie took the seat of the host while amusingly quizzing Pat and Vanna in some simple holiday questions at the end of the episode on December 27, 2022. Pat could not help but share his observation that his daughter was actually a good host. His remark reignited media gossip that she has been in training to replace star anchor Pat Sajak in the Wheel of Fortune television show. Audiences have also theorized that Maggie might still become a permanent letter turner on Wheel of Fortune like Vanna White, though the social media correspondent. Maggie joined the Wheel family in 2021. She featured in the program both on screen and behind the camera several times. Currently, she has not been assigned any major responsibilities from managing the social media handles. However, there are some supporters of the idea that her small part of the show is the first step towards her becoming the host of the program. To the people who have been following the interviews made by Sajak in the past years, his retirement is not really a big surprise. During an interview with Entertainment Tonight in September 2022, Sajak revealed his desire to step down from the show. "We are not going to do this for another 40 years. The end is near," he said. Speculations that Sajak may leave after he had to go off set during taping of the show on April 26, 2023. The absence of Pat Sajak was also seen when the bonus round was being played. The longtime show announcer Jim Thornton assumed the presenting role. Some of the show's viewers could not understand where the longtime host went, and some of them thought that Sajak was either ill or he lost his job. The primary reason behind Sajak's decision to retire is to spend more quality time with his family and to step back from demands of the show. Sajak, who is now 77, indicated that it was simply time for him to retire, a sentiment he expressed in his official announcement last year. Ryan Seacrest was announced as Pat Sajak's successor as the host of Wheel of Fortune on June 27, 2023. Seacrest will take over starting with 2024 to 2025 season following Sajak's retirement after 41 years on the show. Sony Pictures Television confirmed that Seacrest, known for his roles on American Idol and Live with Kelly and Ryan Seacrest, made a multi-year deal and will also serve as a consulting producer on the show. This was a choice that Sajak has supported, expressing confidence in Seacrest's ability to carry on the show's legacy alongside Vanna White, who will remain on the show through at least the 2025 to 2026 season. Sajak's retirement marks the end of an era for Wheel of Fortune, a show he began hosting in 1981. His tenure alongside co-host Vanna White has become a beloved staple of American television. Despite his retirement, Sajak will remain involved with the show as a consultant for 3 years, ensuring a smooth transition for his successor, Ryan Seacrest.